In a world filled with kingdoms rising and falling, one man lived quietly in the ancient city of Haran. His name was Abram. He was not a king, nor a warrior, nor a man of influence. Yet God saw something in him, a heart willing to obey. And one day, everything changed. The Lord spoke to Abram and said, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you." God did not give a map or a clear destination. He simply said, "Go." And with that command came a breathtaking promise. "I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great. And through you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed." At the age of 75, Abram gathered his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, his servants, and all his possessions. Without hesitation, he began the long journey from Haran toward the unknown land that God would reveal. Step by step, desert after desert, Abram believed the promise. When he finally reached Canaan, God spoke again. "To your descendants I will give this land." Abram built an altar there and worshipped, acknowledging that every step was guided by God. Years passed. Abram grew older. Sarai grew older. The promise of a child seemed impossible. One night, God told Abram to look up at the sky. As the stars filled the heavens, God said, "So shall your descendants be." And Abram believed, even when everything around him said it could never happen. Then came the covenant. God instructed Abram to prepare a sacrifice, animals divided in two, forming a pathway of blood. As Abram fell into a deep sleep, a thick darkness covered the land. Then the presence of God, symbolized by a smoking firepot and a blazing torch, passed between the pieces. This was more than a sign. It was God himself swearing that his promises would never fail. Still, the wait continued. Sarai, desperate and discouraged, urged Abram to take her servant Hagar. Hagar bore Ishmael, believing perhaps this child was the promised one. But God had another plan, a miracle far beyond human logic. At 99 years old, God appeared to Abram again and changed his name to Abraham, meaning father of many nations. Sarai became Sarah, and God declared that Sarah would indeed bear a son, the promised child. At last, Sarah conceived, and in her old age, she gave birth to Isaac, the child of laughter, the fulfillment of God's promise. But then came the hardest test of Abraham's life. God said, "Take your son, your only son whom you love, Isaac, and offer him as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." Abraham's heart must have trembled, yet he obeyed. He climbed the mountain with Isaac, carrying the wood for the sacrifice. When Isaac asked, "Father, where is the lamb?" Abraham answered, "God himself will provide." And indeed, at the very moment Abraham raised a knife, the angel of the Lord called out, "Do not harm the boy." Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught in a thicket. God had provided the sacrifice. It was on that mountain that God reaffirmed his covenant. "Because you have obeyed, your descendants will be as countless as the stars in the sky and the sand on the shore." The covenant was unbreakable. The promise was sealed. And through Abraham's lineage, the greatest blessing of all would eventually come, the one through whom all nations would be saved. If you've ever read the story of Abraham, tell us your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to follow the Bible story from Genesis to Revelation, subscribe to this channel and join the journey.